In the journey class, I would say that God has worked in my life by just showing what was in me. And it was just kind of that whole process of seeing how he has been there through the good and through the bad. It really made me reflect on what kind of sins were in me. Not just as a Christian, not just hating the sins of the world, but hating the sin that was in me. It was just good to reflect back on what I had been through and how I wasn't alone, and how God had been sovereign throughout my entire life, that even when I wasn't walking with him, I got to look back and see where God was walking with me. And it was just so comforting. He was always there, even when I was not paying attention. And man, I missed out on so much just by not realizing it. Through theology, this was a big one for me. I took the class thinking that I should take it, thinking that I should know this stuff, but what happened is that I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I mean, I knew I wanted to take it, but I really enjoyed taking it to the point where I would like to take it again at some point. But one way that he really worked in me, and it was very surprising, not what I expected from theology, was that it just abolished my fears. Just, I think, as a woman and as a mother, just the kind of fears and things that worried me. And it turns out all I needed was God's truth and God's sovereignty. And I had to choose, like, do I believe this or do I not? And it just brought this amazing peace over me that I just did not expect from a theology class. When I got done, it also was kind of like, I did that. I looked at my book and I thought, I read that entire book. I did it. I can do this. And then it just really made me think about my Bible. And it challenged me to think, if I read this whole book, it's time for me to read this book all the way through. And I know I can. And I'm doing it. Through the journey, the way it's affected my faith, it just really encouraged me because I saw that God was walking alongside of me the entire time. And so it just helped to just give me that peace. And again, I mentioned it in theology too. That piece of God's sovereignty, that he was there and that he ordained every single detail of my life, that how could I not grow in faith knowing that just everything that he has done, everything he has planned for me, specifically, as an individual, an individual child to him. It just really kind of opened my eyes to only God can make you feel like you're his only child. And obviously I know that's not true, but he makes me feel that way. That's the kind of love and the kind of hope that he has given me through these classes. If I could say one thing to anybody who is thinking about taking theology or thinking of taking any of the journey classes, I would say just do it. But I would say don't be afraid, that you can do it, and you don't have to be intimidated by anybody else in the class. There are no requirements of what you need to know beforehand. Just don't be afraid.